Consider this your first lesson. Always expect a mess. Manager Colin Mercer tipped his coffee cup deliberately, hot liquid flooding across Imani Cross's resume, smearing ink into a brown blur. Laughter from the other interns filled the conference room as he sneered, "Guess you weren't prepared for the big leagues." Phones lit up, whispers spread, and humiliation stung like fire. What Colin didn't know was that the nervous intern he just mocked wasn't there to beg for a job. She was there to decide if he would keep his. "Oops, clumsy me." The words dripped with sarcasm as Colin Mercer, senior manager at Sterling Financial, tipped his coffee cup across the table. Hot liquid spread over the crisp resume of Imani Cross, smearing her name into a brown blur. Interns burst into laughter. Phones lifted, screens recording. Colin leaned back in his chair, smirk curling. "Guess you weren't prepared for the big leagues." Imani pressed her lips together, dabbing the mess with a napkin. Her jaw tightened, but her eyes stayed calm. Jennifer Blake, another intern, leaned over to whisper just loud enough for the room to hear, "She'll be gone by Friday. Watch." The group giggled, the sound sharp as glass. For the next week, the hazing escalated. Colin handed her the worst assignments: coffee runs, endless copies, pointless data entry. When she presented reports, he interrupted with mocking jokes. HR ignored her complaints. Other managers joined in, watching with folded arms as if humiliation were a spectator sport. Every slight, every insult, she recorded in silence. On Thursday morning, Colin strutted into the open plan office, voice booming. "Big presentation tomorrow. Only real talent will be in that room. Don't bother showing up, Cross." Snickers rippled across cubicles. Imani nodded quietly, but her mind was already moving 3 steps ahead. Friday came. The executive conference room filled with directors, senior managers, and interns, everyone jostling for attention. Colin began his presentation, a slick deck filled with numbers that sparkled on the screen. He spoke with the arrogance of a man untouchable. "Sterling is thriving under my leadership," he declared. "Profits are up, compliance issues resolved, and our internship program ensures only the best candidates stay." He shot a mocking glance at Imani in the corner. "Of course, not everyone's cut out for it." The crowd laughed. Imani stood slowly. Her voice cut clean through the noise. "Actually, there's something the board should see before this meeting continues." Murmurs spread. Colin frowned. "Sit down, intern. This isn't your stage." But she walked to the projector with measured steps, slipping a flash drive into the port. The screen flickered. Colin's slides vanished. Replaced with a folder titled "Mercer Emails, Confidential." Gasps erupted. On the wall appeared his own words, projected larger than life. "She's just another diversity hire. Let's bury her in grunt work. Don't waste time mentoring. She won't last a week. If she complains, we'll say she's aggressive." The room fell silent. Imani's voice was calm, but her words struck like hammers. "For the past 2 weeks, I've documented every insult, every fabricated violation, every attempt to push me out. These emails, sent by Colin Mercer, prove a culture of discrimination and targeted abuse." Colin lunged forward, face red. "This is illegal! You hacked my—" Imani held up a badge, gold, gleaming. Washington Holdings executive board member. Her tone sharpened. "I didn't hack anything. As an executive of the parent company, I have full access to all corporate correspondence." Gasps thundered. Jennifer dropped her phone. HR's head, pale as chalk, sank into her chair. Colin's voice cracked. You're not an intern." Imani's gaze cut through him. "No. I came undercover to see how Sterling treats its so-called diversity hires. You poured coffee on my resume. You mocked me in front of staff. You lied to HR. and you turned this office into a circus of cruelty." The directors shifted uneasily. One coughed. Another whispered, "She's on the board?" Imani turned back to the projector. A second file opened. HR reports buried. Complaints ignored. Minority employees pushed out at alarming rates. The evidence painted a picture darker than anyone wanted to admit. Her voice deepened. "This company's culture has been rotten for years. I've seen how managers protect each other while silencing voices that don't fit their mold. But today, that ends." She looked directly at Colin. "Effective immediately, you are terminated. Security will escort you out." Colin's face collapsed, his swagger gone. "You can't," her words sliced through him. "I can, and I just did." Security guards appeared at the door, waiting. Imani's eyes swept the room. "Jennifer Blake, your internship is revoked. Live streaming a colleague's humiliation is not ambition, it's cruelty. Leave your badge." Jennifer's hands shook as she dropped her lanyard on the table. Then, Imani turned to the janitor, Mr. Alvarez, who had quietly slid her a towel on her first day when Colin spilled the coffee. "Please, take a seat at this table. From now on, respect will sit where arrogance once did." Tears welled in his eyes as he stepped forward, disbelief written across his face. Imani faced the directors. "This board has a choice. Continue protecting a broken system, or build one that rewards integrity. My family didn't invest in Sterling to watch it rot. We invested to rebuild it." Silence hung, thick and heavy. Then one director began clapping. Another joined. Soon the room filled with applause. Not mockery, not laughter, but recognition. Colin was escorted out, red-faced and sputtering. Jennifer vanished into the hallway. Imani unplugged the flash drive, the projector screen going black. She spoke one final line, her voice calm but undeniable. "Remember this day, not because I fired corrupt managers, but because you saw what happens when the silenced finally speak." The room stayed hushed long after she left. Every person, knowing nothing at Sterling Financial, would ever be the same. If this story shook you to your core, don't just watch. Make your voice heard. Smash that like button, share this video with everyone you know, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and which moment hit the hardest. And don't forget, subscribe and turn on notifications, because more shocking, bold stories of truth, power, and justice are coming, and you won't want to miss a single one.